We're back with the breaking news out of Washington, D.C. A deadly shooting being investigated right now, where we're told 2 people were shot and killed, and at least one of them is believed to be connected to the Israeli embassy. CNN's chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst, John Miller, is joining us right now. This is coming in fast and furious. What do you know?
So, first of all, everything we're going to be reporting is preliminary because, as you know from our own experience, this information may shift and change. But what we've been told by law enforcement sources is that this was an event at a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C., at 3rd and F Northwest, that the crowd was leaving the event, apparently, that an individual opened fire. We are told that an Israeli diplomat was hit, another one was hit, so you have at least 2 people shot, you have 3 other people injured. Those numbers can shift. We are told there are fatalities, at least 1, and we are told that the gunman, according to witnesses, fled on a motorcycle. So if you take what we have, sketchy as it is, it paints a picture of something that appears to be targeted. It was at an event at the Jewish Museum, appears to be planned in advance. You have a gunman who witnesses say fled on a motorcycle, and obviously this is a major event in terms of this has drawn in the FBI, elements of the Secret Service, obviously the Washington, D.C. Metro Police, and a major investigation unfolding right now as they review video, license plate readers, talk to human witnesses, and try to reconstruct what happened in this event, which apparently unfolded extraordinarily quickly.
And why would the nature of this event have drawn in so quickly that breadth of law enforcement?
Well, if you look at the climate, fears of anti-Semitism, incidents that are occurring right now in the Middle East, in the sphere of Israel and Gaza, tensions that have been rising since, terrorist propaganda that has been out there calling on people to take action. What you have is a perfect storm that can lead to something like this. And what they will be digging into is, was there an individual on a motorcycle? Is that the same person as the gunman, as witnesses suggest? If so, is that individual part of a highly planned operation with a number of people and part of a terrorist operation? Or is it, as we've seen more often than not, a lone wolf who put together a plan based largely on being inspired or radicalized over the internet or in person? These are not answers, these are questions.
And there's many of them. We have the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, who has just tweeted, 2 Israeli embassy staff were senselessly killed tonight at the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. We are actively investigating and working to get more information to share. Please pray for the families of the victims. We will bring this depraved perpetrator to justice. People should understand, John, this is, not in the outskirts. This is really central in Washington, D.C., a major metropolitan area. It's not that late at night. There was an event that was happening. Presumably, the event was either publicized or at least enough people there that they knew there was an event going on. And when you're looking at all this unfold, besides the surveillance of the street footage and what's going on there, when do you turn to figure out cell phone data in the area? Who may have seen what the person looked like? Was there more than one person? How does this investigation unfold at this very infant stage?
Well, first you start with the live witnesses before they disappear into the ether. Then you do the canvass for the ones who fled or left, or you may find the next day by appealing literally through the media like this to say if you were there, if you saw something, if you were filming or videotaping with your phone something else, and you may have caught this. While all that's happening, the go-to is those cameras. There are cameras at that Jewish museum, and they're pretty good. But there are also cameras that may be available from the house across the street, an embassy up here, a traffic camera.
Sure.
You've got to collate all of those together and then see, do we see the gunman? Do we see the gunman fleeing? What's that direction of flight? Can we then track by the cameras and hopefully from an investigative standpoint any license plate readers. Motorcycle licenses are harder. Along the way that will give them something. Is there a stop? Is there a switch car? Or are there other people involved? You really have to take the technology for that. In the meantime, there are people right now, as we sit here in Washington, D.C., down at my old office in the NYPD, who are logging onto those computers and going those sites to gauge the reaction, to see if there's a communique that has been posted, has any person or group claimed responsibility. So many wheels start to turn simultaneously between the FBI, DC Metro PD, their people on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, even the NYPD, which will start reacting to this because of nothing more than you have a large number of high-profile Jewish targets in New York City, as many, if not more than Washington, that they will be pushing resources to right now and throughout tomorrow till they get a handle on what they think we have going on.
I want to bring in CNN senior national security analyst Juliette Kayyem to the conversation. You know, John and I are talking about the steps that will immediately be taken to try to cast a very wide investigative net domestically, but we're talking about people from an embassy as well. You're talking about a net that could go internationally as well. When you're hearing about what has just happened and the details are coming in quickly, we're going to bring everyone what we have as soon as we have them as they're unfolding. What is your take and analysis about what the steps will be to determine what happened and whether there were additional targets or anything?
So, I mean, I don't disagree with the thing that John has said. We are in an environment in which the Jewish community is in fear, rise in hate crimes and anti-Semitism. And these public gatherings are both, you know, ways in which a community feeling under threat gets together, but of course, celebrations. Some of the things on preliminary, and I'm just going to accept what Secretary Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, said, that the two people actually killed were both embassy staff. And that's just a data point that's worth noting in terms of what's the likelihood, what's the percentage of people there that were from the embassy, why only those two, where apparently the ambassador was not there. So in terms of investigation, you're really looking at, was this quite targeted on Israeli staff of the embassy who are here in the United States. The second piece is the motorcycle. As John was saying, to me, that's just the tell-all. That's just a sophisticated hit, so to speak. The person will be able to get around DC traffic, evade identification. It's harder to do so with a motorcycle. And so you are going to look at a planned attack, and one that could have planning not just domestically, but of course internationally. And so this is a terrifying thing for the Jewish community, for people in DC, but it also has this really disconcerting wrinkle or aspect to it that would make you inevitably need to look to the possibility that there was a foreign terror attack in the United States targeting Israeli diplomats. And that is rare. It shows a certain amount of planning, an ability to do so, and evasion. I mean, we are now, you know, each minute that passes, it's more time for this person to get away. So that's where the investigation is going to lead. I just want to say one more thing. Would be curious, or part of the investigation is going to be, because this was a public gathering with Israeli officials, how public was it? How did people get access to it? Those are the questions we're going to want answered, because in terms of the deliberative nature of this assassination, essentially, and this attack on the Jewish community, what kind of notice was out to the public in terms of the threat?